you actually think perhaps there's too much focus on monetary policy? Do you think the government needs to do more fiscal in order to translate, I guess, the momentum that we're seeing into structural growth?
I think that right now, I think that the monetary policy is doing their job. So that the overlook, I think that the outlook is for the BOJ not to change. But I think that there are other issues that Japanese economy faces. So that the monetary policy itself only monetary policy cannot sort of address those questions.
So, Masazumi, that is certainly the big question down the road, and something will undoubtedly be discussed at this meeting. Now, we do know that they're expected, even with that doubt about fiscal policy, to raise their inflation forecast for the fiscal year to 2.3% from 1.8%. The main theme we're hearing from Governor Ueda is he's not convinced that inflation above 2% is sustainable. Do you agree? And what do you think he has to see to say, yes, it's finally there?
Well, I think that in a sense that the Bank of Japan has achieved the inflation target at this moment. But I think that the big question is the sustainability and stability of that maintaining 2% inflation target. So still, I think that if you think about the down the road, that's probably I think that the BOJ would revise the forecast for the price developments upward, but that's I'm not quite sure that's going to be sustained from the year 2024 to 2025. So you're gonna have to see not the more recent project, but the 2024 and 2025, I think, the forecast.
Masazumi, and yet swap traders continue to bet that the BOJ will eventually have to move on its YCC, as this chart on the Bloomberg shows. What can we expect in terms of the BOJ trying to really clamp down on this speculation that they will move?
Well, it's the YCC is an interesting sort of instrument tool, so that it's always under speculation. But I think that what the BOJ can do is to clearly communicate their sort of overall the stance to the market, which is quite difficult. But I think that there is a speculation that that the BOJ would change the monetary policy prematurely. You're going to have to, the BOJ has to address that problem. And I think the Governor Ueda has been addressing the matter forcefully, but there are always speculations in the market. So you cannot deal with speculations, and you cannot really wipe out speculations as long as you continue the YCC.
In the meantime, will the Japanese yen be the biggest loser? And how problematic is this?
Well, I think you don't really want to speculate on exchange rates, but currently I think as long as the BOJ is maintaining its monetary policy, unless the exchange rates move rather quickly and in a sort of a speculative manner, that should not be the concern for the BOJ. I mean that there is, of course, the institutional division of labor between the Ministry of Finance and the Bank of Japan. If there is any sort of a rapid movement in the exchange rates, that is the responsibility. It is a responsibility for the MOF to deal with it. But the BOJ should be focusing on the price developments and other economic data as long as they are concerned with monetary policy.
Masazumi, this week the Labor Ministry panel is expected to announce the average minimum wage proposal. People are hoping it'll be above 1,000 yen. In terms, again, of what the BOJ has to see to make a move, economists surveyed by Bloomberg are still looking to October, very possible for a move. Would this help convince them that the momentum is there, the sustainability is there, and even if they're not ready to raise the key rate off negative, they are getting to the point where they can discuss and maybe even start tweaking the YCC?
Well, I think the once again that tweaking the YCC is not really a sort of significant matter when and if the BOJ achieve and feels confident to achieve the inflation target of 2% in a stable manner. Once again, that's the tweaking is under speculation, but I think that's not the whole point. The whole point is that the how and when the BOJ feels confident about achieving 2% inflation target. So in that sense, so other things are kind of the details. But I think that the market participants are kind of, that's focusing on the details rather than the sort of the main message. That's the challenge for the BOJ to communicate.